Sure, let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for the opportunity to join. Lord, we thank you for the change of seasons and the weather outside, God, and what that brings and the holiday season that is upon us, Lord, and what that means to our families and everybody in the city. God, I ask you, Lord, just be with the meeting tonight. Let the things be discussed be for the benefit thereof. And I ask you, Lord, just protect all our people, our police officers, firemen, and the people who just make it go. The city go on a day-to-day basis, Lord. I ask you to just watch over their families and keep them in good health. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a fairly busy agenda tonight, so we'll get right to it. I'll let you guys take a look at the agenda, and while you're doing that, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Lilly. Here. Mizell. Here. Rustin.
Here.
King. Here. Bill. Here. Mayor Mitchell.
Here. Okay, so we have a full house. Everybody's present, and we have a quorum. Give you a few more seconds to take a look at the agenda. Okay. And as usual, the first item on the agenda is our consent agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. We have two council work sessions up there, which were work sessions to finalize the city budget. We have a special called council meeting, which was to adopt the city budget for fiscal year 26. And then, of course, the regular council meeting was on the 16th of September, and we have those minutes. They were quite lengthy. The minutes themselves are quite lengthy because they have the special loan agreement from SRF in it, which is quite a lengthy document. So council's had an opportunity to review those minutes. They have it in their packages here. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, if not, let the record show that the minutes are approved as written. And we'll move on to department reports. Fire department, I thought, so there's the chief.
Yes, sir. Well, as you can see, we're doing pretty well this quarter. We finished up last year. I believe we came in well within our budget. That was our goal. We made a lot of improvements in the last year. So we're looking forward to moving on this next year and maybe continuing the work that we're doing. We got the truck on order. Everything's going fine with it. Got some equipment coming for it. Personnel wise, we picked up another person, I believe, that's going to be a good candidate. So everything's really picking up and looking good.
Yeah. It has been a good year. Wound up with signing the contract for the new fire truck as well as the AFG grant and getting a breathing apparatus and then bringing on a few new recruits. So it's been a good year. So, any questions for the chief?
When will we think we'll get ownership of the truck? You know?
Well, the last time we talked to him, it could be anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks is what he told us, just depending on the delivery and the mounting of everything and so forth, and depending on their schedule.
Good.
Any other questions? Okay. Library.
All right, so 2025 was good. We had a lot of good stuff happening. We had an estimate of 1,554 visitors for the month of September coming through the library. We provided about $49,956.90 worth of services in August. We do not have September stats as of yet, so I don't have the end of year stats on those. This is down from the previous year. Our fall festival is October 23rd from 5 to 6:30 p.m. We're going to have like a cakewalk. We're going to have a grab box. We're going to do bingo and scavenger hunts and that kind of thing. So come dressed in costumes, come have fun, and just enjoy a good night. But that's it.
Big kids and little kids?
Big kids can come,
Okay.
you know, the staff really get involved in it, and they have just as much fun as the kids do, so, we're looking forward to it.
Good. Any questions for Jennifer? Okay. Moving on, environmental services, Dale?
We haven't had a whole lot change, out of the treatment plant. We're still on track with the new facility or upgraded facility getting built. We've got a lot of the new equipment in, the aeration equipment's came in, the bar screen, the UV, disinfection systems, so, they started working on the UV today, so hopefully that side will move a little faster now. They've got all the concrete poured, so they're getting ready to start installing the equipment and stuff.
Questions for Dale? So, when do you think the first pond will be in operation before we really start moving on the second one?
Probably about March, maybe, hopefully.
Okay, that'll be good. And you got all the equipment for that one?
Mm-hmm.
Just needs to get it
And he said the
installed.
second unit will go a whole lot faster, because everything's already on site.
Any other questions for Dale? Okay, thanks. Community Affairs and Senior Services. So I'll go ahead and cover this. Allie's mother had a heart attack and she's in the hospital, so Allie couldn't make it tonight. But basically, looking at pretty much green status, pretty much the same for it's been this weekend on Friday night. We got a Witches Night Out hosted by Columbiana Main Street. Then the Columbiana Main Street Witches Ride on South Main is on Saturday. Shelby Ironworks has Fall Festival at the Ironworks also on Saturday, and then the Provincial Pub across the street has the Mike Gannon Memorial Barbecue also on Saturday. And also, finally on Saturday is the Shelby Cross Country Haunted Trail behind EHES or behind Elvin Hill. So the trail back there, the cross country trail and walking trail that's behind Elvin Hill will be haunted, and you can go visit that on Saturday. Of course, the data on the senior center, 1,100 meals served in September. Had the chamber meeting on the 2nd. I'll talk about that during the mayor's report. And some other events coming up, a rehearsal dinner and then a wedding on the 11th. Teacher training on the 13th, the drug court on the 17th, Shelby County Community Services Music in the Park on the 22nd, and the CTEC Awards on the 23rd. So hopefully no questions, because I pretty much just know what's on the chart since Allie's not here. But for the record, any questions? Okay. Board reports. I think we have a beautification board. Did you meet?
Okay,
Oh,
yes,
there.
the beautification board met last night. You can see downtown that we decorated for fall. All the planters have been, changed to the fall and winter plantings. The pumpkin display is up. Christmas tour of homes is gonna be Saturday, December the 6th, 1 to 4. Tickets will go on sale online, but we will also have tickets, paper tickets for sale, due to the great response. People want to have paper tickets as well, so that's about it.
Okay. Any other boards that not aware of? Okay, Matt, all right, move on. Okay, so we have a proclamation. I think you've got that right there. So the month of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I think we have someone here who might want to speak about that before we go into the proclamation.
Absolutely.
Oh, good, good.
So, City
everybody. My name is Lena Tudor. I am a residential case manager at Safe House of Shelby County. We're really grateful for the opportunity to speak with you and for your ongoing dedication to Safe House. The city's public commitment to addressing violence in our community not only makes a tangible difference, but it sets a powerful example for others to follow. And for those of you who may not be familiar, Safe House is a 501c3 nonprofit organization and a proud United Way of Central Alabama partner. We provide essential domestic and sexual violence response, prevention, and intervention programs throughout not only Shelby, but Coosa, Clay, and Chilton counties. In the past year, we have received 1,400 calls to our crisis line, provided emergency shelter to 180 victims and their children, and assisted almost 700 victims through our community services and forensic medical facility in Pelham. Of those served, 435 adults and 66 children were from Shelby County, with 100 individuals utilizing our emergency shelter. And this represents a slight decrease from last year, where we served 525 individuals from Shelby County. We may be one of the only organizations you'll hear of tonight who want to put ourselves out of business. We greatly appreciate your continued support, especially the public proclamation against domestic violence and your partnership in this critical work. It's a privilege to serve the people of Shelby County and Columbiana in particular when the community prioritizes safety and well-being, as you all do. So thank you all for your unwavering commitment to creating a safer environment for all. And Safe House is proud to serve alongside a community and make us stronger and more compassionate.
Well, thank you. Before I move on with the proclamation, does the council have any questions for the Safe House?
Are they gonna replace Fitz,
What's that?
the dog?
That's Owen's house.
That's Owen's house, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, sorry, wrong house,
Where,
wrong house.
do you take donations directly, like?
We absolutely do. If you have whatever items you have, you can contact our crisis line and they can direct you what to do with them. We also have a,
Any other questions from the council?
I just have a lot of little girl clothes I figured somebody could use.
we can have a lot of little girls right now.
Oh, well, perfect.
Okay, I'm going to go through this proclamation. I'll sort of do the Reader's Digest version of it, but starts off with, whereas domestic violence is a pervasive public health and safety issue that affects individuals in every community. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men have experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. Domestic violence can have lasting emotional, psychological, and physical effects on survivors and their families, and oftentimes it goes unreported due to a fear, stigma, and systemic barriers. Children who witness domestic violence are at greater risk of experiencing emotional trauma. They have to potentially have developmental challenges, and they may continue the cycle of violence in their own lives. Communities need to come together to support survivors, hold offenders accountable, and work collectively to prevent domestic violence through education, outreach, and advocacy, some of the things that you guys do. And whereas during the month of October, individuals and organizations across the nation are going to join together to raise awareness, promote prevention, and support efforts to end domestic violence. The courage and resilience of survivors, advocates, service providers, and all those working to end abuse must be recognized and honored. Now, therefore, I, David Mitchell, Mayor, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Columbiana, Alabama, and I urge all citizens to take a stand against domestic violence by supporting survivors, speaking out against abuse, and fostering a community where all individuals can live free from fear and violence. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this proclamation. And if you can stick around, we'd like to get a picture at the end with the council, if you don't mind. Okay? Any questions? Thank you. Okay. So now we're going to go through the fiscal year 2024 audit. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'll give you a couple of the highlights, a few of the highlights of the audit that were in the, that are summarized in the management discussion and analysis. And then I'm required to make a written statement, presentation of the audit report to the council under oath, and so I'll cover that real quickly with you guys. So the highlights are assets and deferred outflows of resources of the city exceeded its liabilities and deferred inflows of resources at the close of fiscal year by $16,245,722. That in government accounting parlance is called net position. That's essentially the city's net worth, where our assets exceed our liabilities. The net position of primary government activities increased about $300,000 over fiscal year 23, primarily due to increased governmental operating and capital grants and increased sewer operating margins. At the close of 2024, the city's governmental funds reported combined ending fund balances of about $5.5 million. That's a net increase of $441,000, about 8% over 2023. Driven primarily by increased tax revenues and grant income, along with decreased capital expenditures. Long-term liabilities, that's basically our debt balance, decreased $257,422 year over year. That's probably not going to be the case next year because of the sewer system debt, but good news is that our other debt was coming down. And year-over-year revenue from recurring taxes increased $264,000, about $265,000, and total revenue from all sources increased about $940,000. So that's just sort of a summary of the key aspects of the city's financial position. I'll turn it over in a few minutes to Walker Gann from Dent Moses, our auditing firm. So this is the letter of transmittal, and I know you can't read that, so I'm going to just kind of, again, give you the Reader's Digest version of that. This is my letter to the council that I'm supposed to provide to them along with the audit. Section 114385 of the Code of Alabama, as amended by the Municipal Audit Clarification Act, requires the mayor shall provide for and cause to be made an annual audit of the financial affairs and transactions of all funds and activities of the municipality by an independent public accountant for each fiscal year of the municipality. And that's what Dent Moses has done for us. The audit shall be conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards in a format prescribed by the Department of Examiners of Public Accounts. That's relatively new in this Municipal Audit Clarification Act, which was, I think, passed in 2022. They basically just said do it in accordance with generally accepted accounting standards, and now the Department of Examiners has said do it in accordance with GASB, the Government Accounting Standards Board. So that's the format that's provided. And this is what I'm supposed to do here. At the first council meeting upon completion of the audit, the mayor shall make a written report of the audit under oath, which shall be spread upon the minutes of the council meeting. This letter of transmittal, the audit report, inclusive of the management discussion analysis and the auditor's accompanying management letter, fulfill these requirements. So I'm going to skip all the rest of this stuff and say and go to the oath. So in accordance with Section 114385 Code of Alabama, I declare that, to the best of my knowledge and belief, the information included in the fiscal year 2024 audit report in management's discussion and analysis regarding Columbiana's books and accounts is true, complete, and fairly present in all material respects the financial condition of the city. So that's the written thing. And now I will turn it over to Walker, and you can sort of summarize it. Each of the council members has a copy of the full audit report here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very happy to be with you all tonight to be able to present the fiscal year 2024 audit. I'm going to be brief, but I'll take any questions if you have any, or attached to the governance letter that you all have to my contact information. So if you are reading through later and you have questions or want clarification, please feel free to reach out. So in front of you, you have two documents. You have the audited financial statements, the big bound document, and then the letter to governance. The letter to governance is just for you all. Kind of summarizes how the audit went, if we had any findings, those would be included in that letter, and other information that we're required to disclose to governments. My business card's attached to that, like I said, reach out if you have any questions or want clarification. The audit, financial statements. Our opinion was an unqualified, unmodified opinion, what you want. These financial statements, we believe, are presented materially in all respects, and it outlines a little bit more detail what all that is in the auditor's report in the first few pages. I really just want to hit a couple of the major changes, like in formatting, that you'll see compared to last year. Just to remind you, we have government-wide statements and fund-level statements presented in this package. Fund-level statements are going to be what you're used to seeing. They're going to be very familiar to you. The numbers, modified cash basis statements, and then government-wide is some of those long-term assets and liabilities that you may not be looking at on a day-to-day basis, like long-term capital assets, debt, and other liabilities and assets that we have to present on your balance sheet. You'll notice in the fund level statements we've included, now the debt service fund is broken out as a major fund and presented separately. It was in other governmental funds in the prior year, but the expenditures in the debt service fund in the current year required us to break it out. So you'll see an extra column on the fund level statements reporting that activity. Also, you'll notice the OPEB plan that the city implemented. Now that liability is on your statement of net position, so it's a long-term liability that's determined by the actuaries. You'll see pretty big liability out there for that. It's kind of similar to the pension plan. The actuaries take in all the information, and you've got a nice new big liability on there that we're required to report for under GASB.
Define for the council, the acronym OPEB.
Sure, other post-employment benefits, so the health care benefits that you provide to retirees of the city. So they project that out and come up with a liability, what they believe that would be based on the current. Those are the main changes to this report. Again, a lot of it will be familiar if you look through the prior years. I'm happy to take any questions now if you have anything specifically on this, or again, also very happy to follow up later if there's anything that comes up.
But your conclusions have said that nothing bubbled up from the previous year type of thing. It's pretty much stable environment compared, other than the debt service.
So we did make adjustments during the audit process.
Yeah.
Some of those are provided in your letter to governance, and some others that we aren't required to report to governance. We've sent to Charlene to post to your books to get them up to where they need to be. But no findings. Our opinion is an unmodified opinion, so everything in here is, we believe is going to be stated.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions for Walker? Thanks, sir. Appreciate that.
Thank you, council.
That's what Walker just did right there. Okay. All right, so this is a resolution authorizing me to sign the traffic enforcement agreement with ADECA. Each year, we are fortunate to get a significant amount of funding from ADECA, the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs, to help us fund traffic enforcement and do with community engagement, things like that. And it basically funds overtime for us to be able to do that. So we enter into this agreement with ADECA. ADECA will reimburse the city for overtime hours worked by officers for the grant. The agreement is executed in the name of the city and will be attested by the city clerk. And upon completion of the execution of that agreement with all parties, that'll be kept on file by the clerk. Obviously, because this is us accepting some money, and we will have to provide some services in receipt of that money. When we vote on this, we'll need to do a voice vote. So are there any questions about the resolution? And if not, would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I'll introduce resolution 102501. It's authorizing the mayor to sign a traffic enforcement agreement with ADECA.
I'll second.
Okay, and if you would call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell,
Yes.
Rustin.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Manager.
Yes. Okay, so resolution 102501 is adopted. Okay, so this is resolution 102502 authorizing me to sign a lease purchase agreement with PNC Bank. And this is for the fire truck that we just spoke about when the chief was talking about the fire department. I know that's small print and you can't read that, but basically, the cost of this fire truck, after we made some modifications to it, we had originally got a quote of $810,000, but it came up to $810,633. The good thing is the annual payment. It's a 5-year lease, and at the end of the lease, we pay $1 and we own the fire truck. And based upon our other fire trucks, they're in service for anywhere from 20 to 30 years, and we have a couple that may be even longer than that. So it's $174,066.85. You may remember that number. That didn't change, even though that the price tag went up some, because they were able to pull the interest rate down a little bit due to some changes in the interest rate. So that's kind of good news. So, any questions about the lease agreement or the resolution? Okay, so would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I'd like to introduce resolution 102502, authorizing the mayor to sign a lease agreement with PNC Bank.
Second.
Okay, can you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Lilly,
Yes.
Mizell,
Yes.
Rustin.
Yes.
King. Phillips.
Yes.
Manager.
Yes. Okay, new fire truck, hopefully within a month you'll be taking possession of that. Okay, this will be the first reading, and this is a very, very lengthy ordinance. So I'm just going to try to summarize this. This is amending ordinance 101507, which is our general taxes agreement, and this is to add 1 cent to the city sales tax. That would make our city sales tax 5 cents versus 4 cents. It would bring the total sales tax in Columbiana up to 10 cents on the dollar, which is commensurate with most of the other communities surrounding us. There's a lot of information on there here because this is a general taxes agreement, and so a lot of the other stuff doesn't apply, but basically wherever it talks about sales tax, you will see on here, if I can find it. Yo, did you see it? It's buried in there. Okay, show me. Right there, 5%, that's the sales tax piece of it. Everything else as far as other excise taxes and things like that that are in here, automotive, vehicle, and trailer taxes, all that kind of stuff, nothing's changing. It's just the sales tax piece of it. We discussed this during the work sessions for the budgeting process. It was an assumption that was included in the budget for 2026. Any questions from this? I don't want to, unless the council should want to do this, it's not my intention to ask for a suspension of the rules. I think we should go through a second reading and give you guys opportunity to take questions and comments from your constituents. Any questions about this? Like I said, it's pretty detailed, and what they've done is they've kind of gone through and just listed almost anything under the sun that you could possibly charge sales tax to, and so that's one of the reasons why I think it's so busy, if you will. Okay, if there are no others, that will constitute the first reading, and this will be published with this package on our website, so people have the opportunity to take a look at it prior to the next meeting. Is there any other city business that the council would like to raise?
No, but I am excited about the fire truck, so congratulations to that. It's,
I think we all are.
it's pretty significant.
Anything else? Okay. Mayor's report. As you know, at our last council meeting, we adopted the resolution was passed to allow us to enter into the SRF supplemental loan for sewer financing. That loan closed on Monday, September 22nd. Council meeting was on September 16th, I believe. September 24th, Shelby County Chamber at the Pelham Civic Center, we had the annual Community Safety Awards. The award recipient for Columbiana was Lieutenant Sasha Knighton, so congratulations to Lieutenant Knighton. We appreciated everything that she's done for us, and particularly our SRO program at the schools. And then on October 2nd, we had a luncheon here at the Grand Hall at Old Mill Square, which is the Shelby County Chamber's State of Our Schools, where we had presentations for the various school systems. We had the Alabaster, Pelham, Shelby County, obviously. Who's the other one? Hoover. So they all presented what's going on. And I think something that we should all be proud of is that the school systems in Shelby County are quite good. We all the school systems are graded A by the state of Alabama in their scoring system. And the last time I looked at the test scoring data from the schools in Columbiana, we were in the 85th percentile in the state. So Shelby County, since we're part of Shelby County schools, Hoover, Alabaster, Pelham have their own school system, but we're part of Shelby County. One of the great things was we had the best video presentation, I thought, of all of them. It was really great. And you guys were there. Any comments?
I think it was great, and I was proud of the kids that spoke because they did not read from a card. They knew their answer to their question automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating. If you get a chance, I'm partial to Columbiana and Shelby County schools, but if you get a chance to see the Board of Education's video, it was that kid, that little boy.
That was a hoop. Wasn't it?
That was awesome. Yeah,
He was so good.
it was good. I don't even know where he goes to school.
I think it's on the web. I
Yeah, it
think
is.
It's on
Yeah.
the website, so y'all go look
good.
at it. It's really good.
He goes to Helena.
Okay. Mason was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Any questions? That's about all I've got. All right. Announcement. Covered most of these under the Community Affairs and Senior Services Witches Night Out on October the 10th. Witches Ride on Broadway on Saturday. Shelby Ironworks Festival. Mike Gannon Backcar Barbecue and the Cross Country Haunted Trail behind Elvin Hill. All of that. That starts at 6 p.m. So all of that's on Saturday. And then Monsters on Main, Friday, October 31st. They're taking registration on the website, so I know we get a lot of calls sometimes, and we get latecomers saying, how do I register to participate on that? So it's done on the website. So, but again, if you have questions, call City Hall. We'll try to help you out. Any questions on that? Okay. This is where we open it up for public comments. So, are there any comments?
This is my assistant.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Please-
Paul Boyd.
Please introduce yourselves because the clerk has to take your names.
I'm Karen Jensen, president of Lay Lake Homeowners and Boat Owners Association. And this is my spouse, Chuck Jensen. He's been off and on the treasurer. So he does the finances and he keeps.
You guys just control the whole show,
He does.
don't you?
This is his prop bag. So.
Okay.
So at any rate, we are, of course, a 501c3, and we began in 1999, and this is, our original goal was to have a state water plan. And of course, it's not happened yet, but this is Kay Ivey, she could actually still pull this off for us. Otherwise, Georgia will come for our water, and Florida wants our water. Everybody wants Alabama water because we are, let's see, we are an amazing ecological state. We have, it's in one of my props here, but we have like 41 species of turtles. Nobody's got that in the whole United States. We are the most ecologically diverse state. We were number 5, we moved up to 4 just I was at a Master Gardener Convention and we just made another highlight. So our resources here are incredible, amazing, and you've always supported our lake, and we appreciate that. We partner with Alabama Power, Alabama River Alliance, Coosa River Keepers, Alabama Water Watch, and the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary. We help ensure the health and vitality of the lake. We implement cleanups. This last spring, and when I talk about the lake, I'm talking about 4 counties, Talladega, across the water, and here, and there's even a little sliver of a 5th county right in Vincent, where I used to teach Spanish. At any rate, the cleanups, we had 1,001 participants this year in those 4 counties. So they made up people that, fishing teams run by a woman and her, anyway, it's across the water. And of course, our own local ones. Where's our fish boy? Yeah, this is Mason Carden from Shelby County. He is our youth advisor. That means we don't pay him anything, but he works really hard for us and writes columns for the little newsletter we put out 4 times a year.
Is that Kobe's?
And we have a speaking girl and swim guide, put up the osprey nest platforms. So at any rate, I'm just trying to tell you, your lake is a wonderful resource, and it does bring in fishing teams. All right. So imagine our surprise about a week ago when we learned that a billionaire tech company is moving here to expand and build a data center. Yesterday I called it A1, which is a sauce. I wish it were a sauce. It's AI, of course, artificial intelligence. And it's going to be built on Industrial Parkway near the junior high school. And there's maps by the door if you want to see exactly where it is. There are negative effects of data centers. They consume huge amounts of energy. The heat generated by the servers requires extensive cooling systems. That's why I'm here, I'm watching my water. All right. Extensive cooling systems relying on water, which strains the local resources. An average Google data center, of course we don't know if it's Google or Amazon, anyway, there are 4 or 5 of them or 6 of them all competing. They consume 450 gallons, 50,000, that's why he's here to keep me straight, 450,000 gallons of water a day. Wow. So as we know, we have 6 wells here, 1 in Wilsonville, there may be 1 across the water, at any rate, and we're already having a strain on a strain on the depletion of the stream and spring at Mill Creek and Day Springs. And of course, additionally, we share our water, not just, so when we're talking about all this water depleting our aquifer, which they're very fragile. When they run out, we could be like the Colorado River. There's collapsing of wells, and then sinkholes appear. If you don't have sinkhole insurance, well, you're responsible. So it's not a good scene. Okay, so the cooling systems release pollution into the air, and that contributes to smog. Data centers generate noise that can be heard 6 to 7 miles away. And if you look at the map, the junior high school is right beside well, we probably already know this, but I'll share my maps. It's right beside the junior high, which is tragic because that noise and the spewing of the pollution, I'd say because we're right here, we're on the river with power plant, they're encouraging them to use coal again. Then not only does the arsenic, lead, and mercury continue then going into our lake, contaminating the fish that our fishermen are fishing for. So we've got kids handling this stuff. That's not good, but the junior high situation is terrifying. I mean, those youngsters sitting there, they're going through adolescence. Remember that? Oh my gosh, that's a crazy period anyway. And then they're gonna have all this noise and the belching of smoke. And then I can tell you too, there's a light issue. The woman in Georgia, North Georgia, she's only 400 yards away from it, and she can walk through her house in the middle of the night and see where she's going. It's that light. It's just weird. So their poor little heads are just gonna be swimming, and if they have, we can't possibly let our special needs kids be in a school like that. And these, well, I go on to tell you, because the billionaires on the West Coast are not going to be financing this, so we gotta get to that, don't we, Chuck? Money. Okay, moving on. So anyway, and of course, there's a visible thing too. The Belgian behemoths, I love that term, are often 5 to 10 stories high. So imagine that inside our junior high. So they're an eyesore, which reduces property values in the town. Light pollution, I told you about that. Jobs. What they found so far, and this is in Huntsville, where they have a big one. It takes up 4 football fields, so it's large. At the peak, they had 1,200 workers that, they would pull in trailers and they stay all week and then they rush home on the weekends. So we would get a little bit of business on our shops for a period of time. And then when it's built, they employ 100 people. And on the video that they show in Huntsville, there's this wonderful woman who comes out and she says, well, my job is hospitality, and I'm actually from Alabama. So at least one of the 100, bless her heart, was from Alabama. And of course, she was not a high-paid tech person. Those people stay on the West Coast, with their lattes and basically get the big bucks. So there we are. Okay. Oh, and here's one of my heroes. His name is Tyson Slocum, and he is with,
Rock guy didn't do a good job.
Oh, he testified to Congress, the US Congress, this April, and told them that citizens are not aware their power bills are going to be increased. They're kept in the dark with non-disclosure agreements. We call those DNAs. NDAs, thank you. See, everybody has to help me. Whew. All right, DNAs, right. NDAs. Oh, this is gonna.
Move on, Alexa.
All right, okay. Anyway, with those non-disclosure agreements, they keep the local government silent until water and power deals are locked in. A vital part of this DNA. Did I do it wrong again? NDA ensures that data centers get around the clock uninterrupted power. Their power is never interrupted. It can't be. It's just got to continuously run. So guess who gets the shortfall when there's a peak weekend? Us. And who pays for the data center? Slocum, my big hero. He says big tech wants to see someone else pick up the tab for expensive infrastructure. Utilities are happy to accommodate by building the infrastructure and then billing all consumers within the service territory for that infrastructure. He also testified this April that working families shouldn't pay higher electric rates to fund more infrastructure to help the tech companies who have profits of billions and billions of dollars. The increase in utility rates is typically, and I don't even want to say this, about 27%. That's what they're finding in the Newton, Georgia one and the Huntsville. And so my question is, how does that affect my church? How does that affect my schools? How does it affect the Piggly Wiggly? I mean, think about it. They're going to have to take that 27% and raise prices, and then guess who's going to pay it? We are. It's cruel. It's just cruel. So I kind of feel like we have maybe been sold down the river. That's an old slavery term, and we may soon suffer just as the slaves and sharecroppers, well, not as much, but we're gonna get to sympathize, let's put it that way. Because we're gonna be indebted to supporting big tech. We'll pay higher energy bills to keep their AI centers puffing. We'll suffer power outages at peak need times. We'll see water depleted from wells and maybe even collapsing sinkholes. We have our aquifer endangered, which I'm really, really worried about. And if coal is used for energy, we'll have our lake again poisoned with mercury, lead, and arsenic. Noise, lights, air pollution of the center will probably just be way too much for our youngsters, and they're going through puberty. And I know some of you serving on the city council and believe you to be well-intentioned, good darn people, right? So my plea is, can you help us turn that around and evict the bandits? And the bandits are the robber barons, the new robber barons. And they're out on the West Coast. That's Amazon, Meta. They have a front name here. I can't remember what they're calling it right now. But Chuck has all the maps. He can show them to you. But even the old robber barons had remorse. And they gifted us with libraries like Andrew Carnegie and Acadia National Park by John D. Rockefeller. But the new tech companies, we're only going to get their bills and their disdain. They are not going to help pay these bills. We are. Oh, and thank you very much for your time
Okay.
and your cooperation. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys have any questions for them?
Can I ask questions to this?
You can
Yes,
comment,
we hear you.
yes.
All right, now let me get this right. You're with Hobo,
Right.
representing Lay Lake and
Yes.
with the surrounding counties. And you mentioned the water wars going on with Atlanta, with Georgia. Is that still in effect?
Oh, yes.
Okay, that has not come to an
No.
agreement with Alabama and Florida.
No, but we have a fabulous geologic man, Greg Guthrie, I think is his name, and he keeps the records. And all Miss Ivy has to do is ask him, could you put those in portfolios so that we go with our lawyers to Atlanta, that we can speak up for ourselves?
That's-
She's going out of office, it's perfect timing for her.
Now, the main question is, I know it will affect Lay Lake, and then I heard it could drop the water, our water table down at least 3 feet. And a lot of people, half the people in Shelby Shores are gonna be affected by that.
And you know, this hot weather, we're in a drought.
Drought,
Now I
so-
think they're gonna call it, or in master gardening, they call it a master drought. Meaning it's gonna go on and it's going to get kind of worse.
Yeah. Now, going on with that, now we're gonna lose more water to the high tech.
Yes.
AI.
And what a lot of people don't know is that we sell or share our water with 5 other areas, Greystone, Chelsea. I mean, they're gonna suffer with the water situation with us. We're not gonna be alone. We'll all
Birmingham-
suffer together.
Birmingham is also in that. Birmingham does take water from Lay Lake.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, they have a pumping station up, well, I think it's by 480,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Now, that also, the other question is, they're pulling in water, where are they gonna return the water to? Back to the Lay Lake? And how are they gonna filter it back out to,
They basically clear like maybe 600 acres or something, and they bulldoze it, and they are supposed to put in a pond where it recycles a bit.
so we're gonna have another retention pond, just like Alabama Power's got with their ash ponds.
Oh,
We're gonna have their pollution.
Who's
and
we?
our system,
Who's
right?
we's gonna have that? Who is we?
Us in Shelby Shores, Columbiana, whoever gets our water from. I'm on the Alabaster system. Who y'all on, Alabaster system now?
No, we're on Columbiana's.
Columbiana system? You know, our water, or your water will be affected if they have it in town, won't it?
Well, all I know is what the company that has been operating in our industrial park for the last 3 years has told us. And their numbers are dramatically different from yours. They're much smaller than,
It's just a Bitcoin place, isn't it?
well, it has been, but it will transition to a high-performance computing center.
Yes.
Which is what Bitcoin is. All it is just instead of being focused on Bitcoin, they will provide that service to anybody. But it's a small Tier 3 operation. It's only on 13 acres. It's a pod type of arrangement. And their current estimated water usage to start is 3,000 gallons a day. And their peak is 11,000 gallons a day. We've discussed that with the water board and the sewer department.
Oh, good.
And that shouldn't be any problem. They've been operating for a couple of years, and we haven't had any noise complaints or any other complaints from that operation.
Most of us didn't know about it.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it in this council meeting for 3
Everyone
years.
should come to council meetings, shouldn't they?
Well, we live stream it, we put it online, and so it's out there, and we've talked about it. I counted, Ricky said it, we'd done it several times, so when it was brought up before, we've discussed it 5 times at this council meeting when it first came up here, and then we've discussed it several times since then, so.
So is they're recycling their water that they use going through?
It'll go through the sewer
new
treatment plant,
sewer
yes.
treatment
It's
plant?
a,
This is the reason behind that?
it's a water-cooled system, and it's recycled. They use it over and over and over again. It's not just go through one time and then they dump it, so it gets reused over and over again. It's like a swamp cooler type of arrangement, except these are water-cooled chips, is the way they've explained it to me. And then eventually the wastewater will go into the sewer treatment plant.
Now, you're referring to just the Bitcoin. What about the other AI company coming in?
It's the same company, and all they're doing is expanding their operations. And they're focusing on, it's called DigiPower X. They're only they're less than a $40 million a year company. They're quite small. And,
Now, but they're gonna grow, right?
well, obviously they hope, like any business, they hope they'll grow, yeah.
What are the numbers? 55,000?
55 megawatts.
Yeah, 55 megawatts of power is what their peak power requirement would be.
And where's that coming from? Our-
It's coming from, no, they have,
They're gonna generate their own? or-
they have entered into a purchase agreement with Alabama Power to have their own dedicated substation. So it won't come from, they'll get their own power from Alabama Power, and it won't affect the power into Columbiana because Columbiana has a different substation that it'll draw its power from. This is what they tell me, although I was on a telephone conference with them and Alabama Power, so the substation part is true, I know. The water calculations are just what they told me, you know, so.
Now, going to the NDAs, who's on the NDA?
I am with the company DigiPower X, and pretty much the NDA says, you know, we can release anything that's in the public domain or anything that they allow me to release. And so I've talked about it several times in this council meeting, and I've given the information about their power usage that they have shared with me, their water usage that they've shared with me, their plan to expand over time as far as additional pods out there to eventually go from there they were pulling 22 megawatts of power for the Bitcoin mining, and they'll eventually expand to 55 megawatts of power, and that'll be their peak.
For right now?
I don't think their only agreement that they have with Alabama Power is a maximum of 55. That's all Alabama Power says they'll give them.
The biggest thing I don't like is the NDA. Now,
Well, I've told you everything that's in the NDA. I mean, it's because the great thing about the NDA is it allows me to communicate. Otherwise, we wouldn't get this information, and so I ask them questions and say, hey, can I release this information publicly? And they've said yes, and we've done it.
Why the NDA?
So nobody else has signed it?
No, just me. But there's, again,
The question is why the NDA?
because they asked us to sign an NDA, and I wanted to get the information because it's important for us to know what's going on.
But signing an NDA means you can't disclose.
You can if it's in the public domain and if they say that you can. And so I have asked them, let me share this information, and so far,
So you have actually limited information.
I know what they told me. That's what I know, and I've shared that.
And you have asked all the questions.
I've asked what I know to ask. I'm certainly not an expert on high-performance data centers,
Well,
so
my biggest question is, you're a paid official of Columbiana, right?
I am an elected official,
You
yes.
swore an oath to do so and uphold the honor of the office.
That's
for
correct.
Columbiana.
That's correct.
But signing an NDA is kind of a conflict, isn't it?
No, it's, as I mentioned several weeks ago, months ago, I think it was, NDAs are very common between public entities and private entities because when a corporation is going to start a new business in an area, oftentimes there are competitive issues that they don't want to release information about what their plans are until they're finalized. And then also, if it's a publicly traded company, which this company is, there's potential SEC issues if they go out and say, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and if it potentially affects, as people speculate on stock prices, then they can get in trouble with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So that's why they require the NDAs. I went to the city attorney, I went to the Economic Development Agency of Shelby County and said, is this appropriate for me to sign this NDA? We looked at it and said yes. And so I executed the NDA, and the good part of it is when questions came up from people, the public, I would go back to them and I said, you know, people are concerned about this. What can you tell me about this? They shared the information with me, and I was able to share it in these meetings.
Okay, the biggest information I'd like to have is how do we fight them from coming here?
Well, they're already here. So our industrial park is an M2 zoned area. And so anybody can, private company can come purchase that property, which they did in 2022, I believe it was. And they can set up a legal business and operate it, and the city of Columbiana cannot stop them. And then they, as long as they follow and don't break any laws, don't create any environmental issues, which so far they haven't. There's been absolutely no complaints for the 3 years that they've been out there. There's nothing that the city of Columbiana can do to stop them.
And yet we get stomped on with the higher rates of.
Well, that's
power,
speculation. That's,
water.
we don't know that. So see, our utility rates, our electric rates are regulated by the Alabama Public Service Commission. And so, you know, I think people are speculating, and I don't know what's happened in other states. But, you know, there's been wild claims about water usage. I heard at one point in time like 2 million gallons a day. And again, you know, you got Wilsonville and you got Bessemer, which are huge. But Wilsonville is, it started out, I heard 240 acres, now it's over 600 acres. And I even heard in one article that I read that it would be, 1,000 megawatts of energy, which is about 40% of everything that Alabama Power generates in the state. So there's a lot of stuff out there that I don't know if it's accurate or not.
Now, they're pushing back coal for usage at Alabama Power.
I don't.
Alabama Power has changed from coal over to propane. Now they're gonna change back to coal.
I don't know about that. The steam plant here in Wilsonville is only 20% natural gas, and the rest of it has been coal. And then they have a carbon capture facility there that's been in use for quite a long time. But Alabama Power, or the state of Alabama, also is one of the largest nuclear power states in the nation. I think we rank about number 5. Then we have a lot of hydroelectric power.
I'm just concerned about what's on Lake,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
our Wilsonville plant.
Yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen in Wilsonville. I don't know what's gonna happen in Bessemer. I only know what I'm told is gonna happen in Columbiana, and
So
it's
this
been
is-
here for 3 years.
So this is going all the way up to state level, right?
What is?
The whole operation they have coming into Alabama.
Well,
If you're talking about the regulations of the pollution and so forth.
yeah, so pollution is regulated by the Alabama Department of Environmental Management. Public Service Commission regulates utility rates. And the Department of Commerce is promoting these high-performance computing centers to come into the state.
So we're fighting the big guy.
Well, the company, this particular company in Columbiana is not a big guy. But this,
Yeah.
again, $40 million, less than $40 million a year, that's very small.
So far. What about in 5 years?
Well, they've been doing this for a while, so I think we've killed that dead horse, so I think are there any other comments that anybody would like to bring up?
Have you heard anything about Eureka Acres? I ain't gonna keep you about it.
Yeah, well, I think, as we talked about before, Eureka Acres was once, private property, private road. We talked about this. And when the city took that over and made it a public street, there was a resolution that understand was passed that says, we'll make it a public street, but the city's not gonna maintain it. So that's why nothing has happened at this point in time. I think that's an opportunity, is something for the city to look at.
I mean, I don't wanna kill a dead horse, but, yeah, I think, but I'm curious, did you sign the NDA in capacity as a mayor or personally?
As the mayor.
So will that information then go to the new mayor?
Sure. The only information, again, is just a document. And so the only information is what's already in the public domain, what they've told me, and by the way, I have documentation that they've given me about water usage and power usage.
Can you share that with us?
I don't know. I'll have to find out. But I can tell you what I can tell you is
I'd
that.
like to have a copy of what is the agreement on.
Yeah, all right, well, let me look into that and see if that's something that I can share.
So this goes back to
And what-
conflict of interest.
Well, no, this is not a conflict of interest.
You're an official being paid by Columbiana.
Yeah, it's not a conflict of interest. It's a legal thing that was done.
I know it's legal.
And-
But
and-
for whose behalf?
And
Your behalf or our behalf?
it's done on behalf of the city of Columbiana.
But it's gonna affect all the people
Well,
around
it-
in this area. Even
May,
though we're right
you
outside.
think it will, but I don't know that it will. And you don't know that it
I don't
will.
have power. I'm on the same water.
Well, I don't
We
know,
get the water from the same well.
well, again,
If
the
it's
water
going
usage,
to go-
the water, let's, we gotta stop.
It'd be like Lake Pretty is
All right,
now.
we can have a conversation outside this, but we've got to stop it in this meeting. And I will tell you everything that I will repeat everything that I know. Okay?
I would like a copy if I may so.
Well, what you can do is you can make a public records request, and if the attorney says that this is something that I can release, then I'll do it.
So I need to see the attorney or.
No.
The
You
form
can.
is on our website.
The form is on the website, and you can make a public records request. You just have to specify what you want. Okay?
What was your name?
Melinda.
Melinda, okay.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
Real quick,
Yeah.
just for the public, going forward, can the council and the mayor do a little bit of research and let's try to see if we can increase the stipends for our fire department? Is that something that can be looked into?
Absolutely. Already looking into it. The chief and I talked about it yesterday.
Yes, sir. Just,
Yep.
I just think about, they need more money.
Okay? Anything else?
Yes, me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
What's your name?
Marcia Hayes.
Marsha
I have a small problem. Well, I probably heard it once, twice, 20 times. The restroom for the park across from Ever Hill. There is no restroom out there for those kids. I reached out on what's happening, Columbiana. Can someone open the restrooms for a couple hours? I had a general review.
Okay.
2 to 5.
What restrooms do they have beside what's at the ball fields?
Lewis,
At Lewis.
Lewis ball.
Yeah.
And she told me, Miss Foster, I don't know her. She told me she could answer that question. She said, unfortunately, she said we can't open the restroom because the softball field owns the restroom, and we have to pay to keep them clean. So I said from 2 to 5, okay, I understand. Thank you for reaching back. So later on that day, I see some people on the softball field having a cookout, playing softball in regular clothes, grown people and children. So I texted her back, and I said, unfortunately, you must not knew that somebody was on the field playing ball. That's not softball related.
So who, you lost me a little bit. So who didn't know what? Who did you call?
Are they going to the bathroom in public?
They don't have one.
Where are they going to the bathroom at?
The Chevron. Okay.
Go ahead.
Her last name is Foster. So she said, I'm on the board, on the softball board. She said I could answer that. So, okay, she answered that. So I texted her back and told her she must not know that the people was on the softball field. And then, come to find out, the restrooms was open. So I asked her, I said, how did the restrooms get open? She said a church used the softball field. And one of the members must have a key and unlocked the door. And that really made me feel some type of way.
So when, are you wanting the restrooms open 24/7
I'm not
or a
asking
specific time? What do you
24/7.
want?
I'm saying that if the park is open, you need a restroom
Well, the park obviously is,
because you got a 2-year-old that had to use the restroom.
mhm. Okay.
My mother with dementia, she had to use the restroom. She said she did.
Well, I think that's something we could take a look at.
But you know, we have to take it to the Chevron. You know, think about it. Though. Some people can't make it like that when you're at a public park. With a public park, you need a public restroom.
Okay.
Amen.
I would also like to comment on that. The What's Happening Columbiana Facebook page is not run by the city of Columbiana. So your question probably didn't go to the correct people. So I want you to know that they the people that needed to know probably didn't know that. So I think in the future, everybody should know that if you need restrooms or you need to rent the park, you need to call City Hall. That Facebook page is run by an administrator and a moderator that doesn't work for the city.
Okay. If you,
I'm just saying, but,
Did she
you
mention?
know.
Is that where you got your information?
yeah,
Yes.
it was on a Sunday. Can you rent the park in Columbiana?
No, so it's open to the public, and if you want to have something there, it's just first come, first serve.
Right.
But no, it's open to the public, so other people may be there while you're there, but no, there's no reservation for them.
So how would we get a restroom?
How do
What
you
is
get
that
the key?
for?
How do you
There's
get
not
the
a
key to
key.
the restroom?
Well, the key is to the restroom belongs to the softball.
I'm talking about
Like-
the city park, public park needs a restroom.
Yes.
For a clean porta potty.
Yes.
I could have paid for the cleaning, but you needed $30, $40. But it's the.
All right, well, we
Yes.
appreciate the comment.
Yes,
I think
yes,
there's
I do.
opportunity for improvement there. So we have issues with the restrooms, not only there, but we have issues at the sports complexes as well. And those are locked up because we have issues, unfortunately, with vandalism and things like that. So, so there's certainly an opportunity for improvement. So I appreciate the input.
There could be a certain time that some people have a key and just ask. We
Right.
come to the city and ask.
Well,
for a
that's
key.
something that we can take up and hopefully come up with a solution for you. Anything else?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
I waited patiently. Hi, Kim.
hey, how are you?
Got 2 questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ever locate the?
No,
You didn't find the pictures
no,
that I?
ma'am. Never
that I
did.
brought you?
No, ma'am. I have not found them.
Okay. Next question. Well, I've got a extra print. I didn't give you all of them,
Right.
but, the past, mayors, somebody had to spread asphalt in front of my house. And it caused a storm plane. And that nobody knew what happened to the person that didn't know who knew, nobody knew where it was.
Where what was?
Any paperwork on it.
On what?
The pavement of, and all the strip, there's a strip of asphalt right in front of my house, the only one on the block. And when the floods come, I'm out there with Kim knows, I was out there with the broom sweeping it off until I finally got some help to help me get bricks. It comes up over the curb.
Right. I've seen your bricks.
You've seen it, senior. And ADEM came out and told me what the problem was. That the water runs down my fence line, both sides, and the neighbor next door proceeds. I've got 2 police reports that are missing because of the flooding. He doesn't do anything to keep it out of his yard. He pumps it over on my yard. And I got a third paper 2 or 3 days ago that explained what he was doing, and there's that complaint is full of lies. I've got copies, so I know.
So, you've lost me a little bit. You got, your neighbor is pumping water
Yes.
onto your land.
And yes, he is.
And you have some kind of paper about that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what kind of paper is that?
It was 2 pages, but the third page, the actual 2 complaints disappeared. Not in the.
When complaints, you filed a police report?
Yes, I did, twice. And they added another one, but a lady
And
called.
they filed a police report, your neighbor?
No, they didn't. I filed it.
So you filed 2 police reports?
Yes, I did.
And you said they added another one. Who's they?
Well, I had a third one that it's all typed, and he didn't type it. And there's several
Who's
discrepancies.
he? I'm sorry, who's he?
The policeman. And there's a lot of discrepancies in all of that. I've got copies of all of it.
So you got copies of
Oh,
all the
yes.
police reports?
Yes. Well, I've got a paper that was typed. It's not that the original reports have disappeared.
Do we have any police reports?
Miss Owens, can I say something? Miss Owens, I talked to you about this about 4 or 5 years ago.
That's right.
And since then, we have repaved your road.
Yeah, they did.
And they milled it down, like.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. You can stand on my porch and you can't even see over the hump. And that was because somebody in the city decided to put the water over on Mildred Street and take it from College Street. And that's what brought it on. And it's a storm problem, storm water. And I've got a case number from people in Montgomery. They're going to do something about it.
Well,
They don't know. They don't know
Is
why
this-
they.
Who's the people? Is that ADEM? You said ADEM came out?
Yes, they did, but this is another people.
Well, I just remember us talking about that.
That's
and
right.
I looked at your pictures and we discussed it. And then on this last time we had that road, paved, did they not mill that
Yeah, it
road
was
down?
milled,
It was completely milled.
but the sewer manhole cover is high. And
Okay,
unfortunately, it's not an easy thing to lower it. And so the crown of Mildred Street
That's right.
is high. It
That's
always
right.
has been.
And my property is the only one that has a hump. That has the hump.
are you talking about the?
Not
crown.
speed, not the speed, I've
Not
got
your
a speed
speed bump.
breaker.
She's talking
Not
about
your
the
speed
crown of
bump.
Yeah,
the road.
I put a yeah, and they cut my curbs down, and they flattened
Well, they
it.
did several driveways that way several years ago. I don't know when that was done, but anyway. So what are you asking us to do? Or-
I'm not asking you to do anything. I haven't had any cooperation from the city.
Okay, and so you're here just to tell us that you're concerned and you're displeased.
Well, I'm thinking it's gonna go to court before it's ordered, because they told me, the last, Stancil Hanley told me that he didn't know what happened to the paperwork. And he said, we can't find anything on it. And he didn't try.
The paperwork on the paving?
On the paving, on anything. No, he didn't know who developed the paperwork for
Well, I don't know who did it when Stancil or
Lowe.
Alan Lowe was mayor,
Well,
but we have the
I think
information
that-
who did it since
I
I've
think
been
that
mayor.
Alan Lowe probably requested it, but he never did. Nobody ever did anything with it. My piece of property is getting flooded bad.
Right.
It's the next door neighbor. I've got proof that the man that made the police reports didn't make a third page. I got a third page the other day, and it was Kim can tell you. When I found out about it, I told him to stop, and the police officer told him, "Don't do that. That's illegal. You can't do that." I had to call him back the second time because he was back over there, and his son works for the water company, and he told me that he got a sump pump. The city had one pump. A sump pump, in case they had to use it. He brought it over there to let his daddy use it, and he kept it.
This is your next door neighbor?
Yes,
Okay, it
the back
has a
of
sump
my
pump.
yeah. This is the all the water running down. He don't do anything to try to stop his, and I made a trough to get mine, and that built up with silt until it killed my apple trees. They're nothing but nothing now. And the back of my shed hadn't got any wood about a foot and a high. Yeah, it's rotted it.
From the ground up.
Well, Miss Owen, that was like 5 years ago we discussed all this.
Yeah.
And I thought everything was good with you and your neighbor now.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, the last I heard, everything was fine and that supposedly the paving helped your water problem.
He didn't listen to the police. He thought that he was supposed it's okay if I do it.
So let me, to try to get, Jeff, has the police gone to investigate whether or not her
No,
neighbor's
they
pumping water into her yard?
The one policeman.
Let me ask him.
We've been over to look to see if there's anything coming out from under the fence or water being pumped into her yard. There's no evidence. As far as the report that she's referring to, she was given a copy of a report. She said it was typed. Well, that's because back when David Orth took the report in 2018, 2017.
It was a long time ago.
our reports are handed in to dispatch
It was
enters it into
in
Southern software, and that's
2015.
how we track and keep up with all our paperwork. So when she wants a copy of something, instead of going to a file and digging out the original report, making a copy of it, it's all in Southern software, that's what's submitted to the state, that's how we keep up. with
Okay,
it.
so it's been digitized.
Yeah, it's been digitized.
Okay.
I explained to Ms. Owen about her report, she said that there was lies, that things were not
Well,
written
they-
correctly, and I gave her an opportunity, I actually went and pulled the original report. I said, I've got the original right here on my desk, you're more than welcome to come. take a
Have you
look
looked at the date?
Yes, ma'am, I sure did, it had
Well,
the date that it was entered.
It was, on the report, it says that we were, I called the police on the 26th of December that year.
What year?
No, that was, hey, I would have been standing out there with an overcoat. It wasn't in
But
December.
What year?
What?
What year was that?
2017, I think.
Okay, that was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's been a long time.
So-
And I thought we had,
explained to
I
her
thought we
that
had this,
the digital report, and then I tried to also explain to her, she said that somebody went in and altered the report. So I pulled an audit trail of the report. When these things are entered into Southern software, it
Well, they
puts
entered in
who's
just
entered it.
lies.
It puts in who wrote the report, and if somebody goes in and alters the report, pulls it for a copy, whatever the case may be, it's recorded on
Okay.
that audit trail. That's how we.
So Ms. Owen, why don't we do this? I'm gonna have, Kim and the chief and myself, and we'll pull all the records that we have. We'd like to take a look at all the data
Well,
that you
Jeff-
have.
Jeff came out and saw where the pipe was coming under the fence. That's all he saw. He didn't write a report or anything. But he saw the pipe, that guy.
Okay.
That he was putting it over on.
So I think, instead of trying to litigate this here at the council meeting, I think we can take care of this,
Nobody,
outside
the
the council.
city's not gonna take care of the fact that my speed bump keeps the water out of my driveway, off of my property.
Right?
That's not gonna remedy that.
It's not gonna remedy the problem from your neighbor.
for your water.
Well,
Or the remedy from the water coming off of the street.
I worked at the Community Connections
Mm-hmm.
and about 10 or 12 years, and I worked on 2 to 10. And he came out there, I caught him pumping it. He had his boss, his basement.
This is your neighbor.
My neighbor.
Yeah.
His basement is just a dirt, it's just a dirt
Sure.
hole. And they had, he was
Okay.
trying to kill his rats.
Yeah.
And I know they had rats, so that's probably what poisoned my
So-
apple trees.
So we need to help you pull all this information together. If the city is gonna be able to do anything, we've gotta have the data and we've
Well,
gotta have the evidence.
I
So
got Montgomery, I talked to Montgomery day before yesterday.
who
and
in Montgomery? What agency, what person?
It was somebody that had the authority. She put me on hold, come back with a long,
Do you know what agency in Montgomery it was?
I don't
What
know.
department?
To me,
Uh-huh.
and do something about it. And she gave me a long, case number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got that, we might be able to help you. Okay, so we can track all.
I'm gonna
try to
do
track
it by
that down.
myself. I'm gonna do it by myself.
Okay.
I don't need, the city hadn't offered me any solution yet. And it's been probably 10, 12 years. And I'm out there during school when it gets out sweeping, keeping the water flowing to keep it from, flooding my place. But now they've ruined my shed. About 1.5 foot up from the bottom is rotted out.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you, Ms. Owen.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay. For no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I like that motion.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.